back to my channel. This is Dom and updates on my latest painting projects. So we're continuing with the Boxer addiction. Yeah, you've seen a couple of videos recently I've been doing around the Boxer Rebellion, and thoroughly enjoying both creating the figures, painting the figures, and hopefully soon playing games with the figures. So these are actually British infantry. So interesting story with these. They're actually, I found in the pile of opportunity 3 sprues of British, I think they're supposed to be Zulu period infantry. And I thought, well, you know what, I don't mind if the uniforms are slightly different. I'm not sure they are, so I've painted them up in the sand colour, washed with Agrax Earthshade and then highlighted with sand again, just to sort of create a more in keeping regiment for the Boxer Rebellion. Now actually there weren't many proper British troops. There were a lot from the British Empire in the Boxer Rebellion, but there was, as far as I can determine, apart from Marines, there was a unit of from the 2nd Battalion Royal Welsh Fusiliers. So these are these. That's what I'm calling them. And at this period, the British Army had moved over into khaki. And again, what I've read is that there's different types of khaki, and actually the sort of the story that everybody thinks of when they think about the British Army in Sudan and Egypt and various other places was that they wore those sort of thick woolen uniforms that were completely inappropriate for the sort of environments they were operating in. In actual fact, it wasn't true. In most cases, they had fairly lightweight uniforms. But anyway, by the by. So these are just, I think they're Perrys. They could be Warlords, I forget now. As I say, I found 4 random sprues in my pile of opportunity, which made up this unit of 12 infantry. And that'll probably form part of the British forces within the Boxer army I'm building. I've bought some metal Indian troops to go along with them, because as I say, mostly apart from the Marines, most of the troops from the British Empire were the Indians and the Sikhs and some Gurkhas and some Bengal Lancers and so forth. So this will be the 1 unit of Brits. So next up, this is a Napoleonic 28mm Russian horse gun. It's a peri-metal, and originally I bought one, and I realised when I've done, initially I started off buying just single gun batteries, but then I realised actually for black powder and general dame I'd actually rather have 2 models. Looks more impressive, looks better on the table, so I'm sort of doubling up a lot of the batteries. So I had already done one of these, which is here, and so this one was added in just to match it. So quite pleased with that. They're both, so that's my twin horse gun battery. I did also take the opportunity to touch up the original one, so actually you can't really tell the difference anymore, which is good. Quite pleased with that. So yeah, another Russian gun for my Russian Napoleonic force. So next up, some more officers and bannermen for my Boxers. Leslie kindly pointed out on my last video that there weren't enough banners. That's because the one problem with the Wargames Atlantic plastic set is they don't actually give you any. So you have to convert them or buy metals. So I bought some metals because metals are king anyway. It means I can add in as many as I want, which is perfect. These are, well, the 2 in the blue are to join the Kansu Braves, so an officer and a bannerman, and these are proper banners, I believe. This was done by Victorious Miniatures. You can pick up the banner sheets from them. They're quite expensive, but you do get a lot of them. And these are more just the regular Boxer officers plus flagsman, bannerman. So yeah, some more done. I will do a load more, Leslie, don't worry. There's going to be plenty in this Boxer force. So the Allied forces for the Boxer Rebellion continue. These are a squad of French sailors. There was a group of them involved in the defence of the legate in Peking. And also I think there was a number of sailors and certainly Marines involved in Seymour's attempt to recapture the city and relieve the siege. These are victorious miniatures, metals, nice figures actually. I do like them. When you get them, you think, yeah, they're all right, and actually you paint them up, and they paint up really beautifully. There's sort of slightly chunky figure which I like painting very much. So you got the 12 men in the squad, plus this is a naval officer at the front. Oops, he's a bit out of focus. Sorry about that. Yeah, nice figures to join the coalition to take on the Boxers. So some novelty artillery of a kind for the Boxers, some rockets. I don't know what really possessed me. Somebody quite rightly pointed out in one of the pictures I posted of this on our Plastic Crack podcast Facebook page that they look like a bit like stick of rocks. He's absolutely right. I don't know really why I did them this way. But I just wanted to put a bit of design on the actual rockets themselves. It just seemed to be right somehow, and I'm not capable of drawing a dragon, which might have been more in keeping with the Chinese. But I'll take it if you're going to fire a stick of rock at people. Anyway, nice. I think these are ironclad miniatures. Nice figures, and they're basic. They're nothing special, but they come out really nicely, and that's the point. And provide a bit of variety for the Boxer forces. So next up, a unit of Chinese Imperial troops. So these are slightly more professional than the Boxers, and formed part of the Imperial forces that were released to take on the coalition forces in China in the Boxer Rebellion. They are really nice little figures. Again, I'm pretty pleased with these. I've forgotten the name of who they are again, but I'll put it in the chat down below if I remember. They tended to be, because they were they were effectively regular army for the Chinese. They were uniformed standardly. They have a funny sort of white panel on the front of their uniforms, which had all sorts of Chinese words written all over it, which I don't know what they meant, but I attempted to make a few squiggles on them. You can't really see from these from the figures spanning around, and actually they probably mean absolutely nothing because I just literally squiggled them on. But I think it just adds to the flavour of the figure. And a couple more flags, because you need lots of banners in your Chinese armies. So there you go, some more to join the ranks of the Chinese forces. So next up, I don't want everyone to think I'm only doing Boxer figures at the moment. I am mainly doing Boxer figures at the moment, but you've got to keep the variety going, I believe. I think that's what keeps me refreshed and keeps me painting. So this was a model of a Jagdpanther which Simon, one of our regular viewers of the Plastic Crack and also our individual channels, sent a whole load of stuff for me and also for some of the other guys, and also for the raffle up at CrackCon in a couple of weeks' time. And this tank was in there, and I just thought it needed a bit of TLC. He'd made a start of it. He'd done the hard work, because this is a Rubicon kit, and everybody knows how fiddly they are. And there's no way I would have touched it with a barge pole. But he'd made the bulk of it. I mean, just a few bits had fallen off, and the barrel needed reattaching, and it just needed painting up, really. He'd even done the undercoat. So I just did my usual late-ish war camo with the green and the brown, and washed it up and dry brushed it a little bit, and then just went to town with the mud and the weathering. and I just think it's a lot of fun. Don't know whether it'll ever see the table, but I thought as a way of thanks to Simon, it deserved to see the light of day. So thanks again, Simon, much appreciated for all the figs you sent for the raffle and for us. And hope you enjoyed what I did with the Jag Tiger, or Jag Panther, sorry. So next up, this is a second box of the War Games Atlantic plastic boxer troops. As I said with the first lot, I really enjoyed doing them. I think they're just actually really nice little models, very simple to put together, and enough variety there. If you're not wanting the guys with the rifles, because there's only 2 arm poses for the rifles, but if you're just looking for hand weapons and what have you, which really the boxers had, there's plenty of variation here. Different heads, different weaponry, all sorts of things. So it's great fun. And then when you add a bit of colour, different colour schemes to them, put some shields on a couple of the guys, it really makes them very varied, which is fantastic, because I've got a third box to do. There's a couple of Tiger Men in there as well. I just did a couple of those to add to the Tiger Men in my force. No more Kansu Braves. I might do in the final box. I might do some more Kansus, just to sort of bulk out the number of forces of those. But yeah, not much else to say. Nice models, good fun to do, bit of colour, ready for the table. And then I've also worked on some scatter terrain. So there's obviously some sandbags, and then some just assorted store boxes that can be used in various games. I'm not sure where I got these things. I think they may be Mantic, but I'm not entirely sure. But useful bits of scatter for the table, and it's kind of again it's kind of being able to swap and change and do something different when you're trying to keep your mojo high. So there you go. And finally, for this week, this is the start of my Sikh, my Indian army that will be part of the Boxer Coalition forces. This is not Aventine, Artisan miniatures. This is their Sikh mountain gun, I believe. I think they're from the Northwest Territories range of figures they do. But as near as damn it, they're identical to the uniforms that were worn by the British forces that tried to, or did manage to liberate Peking. And so I bought some of their infantry, and I also bought this gun and also some Bengal Lancers, which I'm working on at the moment. So nice, really nice figures. Artisan do some lovely figures. They're nice to paint, chunky. I do like a chunky miniature. I think it just takes the paint really well. I've gone with the sort of sandy khaki type uniform because that's pretty much what they were wearing at this period, and based it on this nice circular base, which I think is an old bolt action one if I remember rightly. Anyway, joining the forces. And there you go. That's what I've been working on this week or so. Let's see, the addiction with the boxer stuff is continuing to be strong. I've rattled through the figures. They've been so much fun to actually paint and even assemble. And I'm not a modeler, so kind of anything that is easy to put together and then fun to paint is always going to get my attention. And then interspersing that with some metals as well to bulk out the ranges. Some of the boxer, there aren't many companies doing boxers, but what there are kind of nice figures. So I've really enjoyed doing them, and they may even see the table this week in a game. So anyway, there you go. I hope you're doing well. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, all the good stuff. Let me know what you're working on at the moment and what your latest addiction is. Mine is clearly the Boxer Rebellion. Anyway, stay safe, enjoy your gaming, enjoy your modelling, enjoy your painting, and I'll see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.